Right, here to show you today an updated version of my taped components cutting machine. I've added in a couple of additional stands here, and these guide the tapes below the level of the scissor blades, and at the same time I've also added in this additional piece of plastic here, and this piece of plastic butts up against, or as close as possible to, the actual rollers themselves. This stops the resistors from dropping down in that gap, which prevents them from getting caught. It's a bit crude, but it actually works surprisingly well. I've got a control panel here, which is only 5 buttons. 2 buttons here. Top one feeds it back, the bottom one feeds the tape through. These two edit the steps, and the stepping for the stepper motor. One button increases how many steps it takes, the other button decreases it, so you can adjust how many resistors or how far the tape was pulled through. And this button here acts as like an automatic feed and cut button. So you press the button once to feed, and it'll feed through 10 or however many resistors you decide to pull through, and you then press the button again and it cuts. And the nice thing about this is even though it is pretty crude, it actually works surprisingly well. I can sit here, hold the button down, and it'll run quite happily on its own. It's taken quite a while to actually get it to work like that. I mean, I have had issues here with the actual bends in the tape causing problems like that. I mean, it's only a small bend, but as it folds, as it's fed through, should I say, it tends to get stuck. But these little side panels here stop that from happening. And overall, I'm quite pleased with it. It's got an infrared LED powered here, and it's mounted on the inside of the printer head chassis, and it's centralized. And I then use infrared detectors, and I use 3 of them to detect where the positioning of the head. And so I can use that, combine that with the programming on the pickaxe, which is a 14M2, combine it with that, and you can see with the pickaxe where the actual printer head is, and then so you can write the code to suit. The nice thing about this is that if, say for example there, it's cut the tape quite close to the resistors, so what we can do is you can pull the tape through, and then using the buttons, after it's fed, feed it back, or forth, or however you wish, and then cut it. I mean, you only have to do that every so often, depending on how the resistors are spaced on the tape. But otherwise, it's generally quite a good little machine, and that speeds up the cutting process of the tapes quite a bit, really, considering. And you consider how long it would take to cut 3,500 resistors by hand. It would take a considerable amount of time, as I've found out in the past. But yeah, it's pretty crude. I am hoping to improve it somewhat by fitting proper springs and trying to improve the mechanism here. But other than that, it works nicely. So thank you very much.